Welcome back. My fiance 25 and I 24 agreed to go on a separate guys trip, girls trip with our friends for our bachelorette parties. We found out that our destination was the same location when my fiance caught me kissing another guy, and my fiance called off our wedding. My fiance and I have known each other all our lives. We went to the same kindergarten right through high school. We were even high school sweethearts and had a long-distance relationship throughout college. I've never been with another man, nor have I ever kissed another man before, so you can imagine the type of bond we've built over the years. He proposed a year ago, and we've been planning the wedding and have already set a wedding date. A month ago, my friends, all female, accidentally added me to my surprise bachelorette party group chat. They wanted to take me to a strip club the day before my wedding. I told them that I wanted to be home on the day before and I didn't want strippers. Hence, we came up with the idea of a girls' trip to New Orleans. The trip was inspired by the movie Girls Trip. We wanted an opportunity to catch up and have fun together like we did when we were growing up. We barely have a chance to get together as we're all busy with our own lives. I talked to my fiance about it and he agreed. When his best man found out about the trip, he decided to do the same for my fiance and their guy friends. Our trip started 4 days before the guys' trip, and my fiance dropped me off at the airport. The trip started off tame for the first few days with sightseeing and controlled nights out. As the girls' trip progressed, things gradually got chaotic. We got curious and wanted to experiment. Nothing too crazy, but it was fun. I would constantly call my fiance and share my experience and new things I tried out. And when he also went on his trip, he would share with me as well. Last night, we had a lot to drink, and we played a lot of games with other people we met during the trip. I got a dare to kiss a shirtless, handsome friend we had just met. I went for the kiss, and we got carried away and ended up sitting on this man with my legs, wrapped around his waist in a deep kiss, with a small crowd cheering for us. This is what my fiance walked into. After grabbing me off the man, he dragged me to the side asking me what's going on, and accused me of having an affair. I tried to explain to him that I just met the guy and it was just a dare, to which he got angrier and called me names. When I asked him how he could say that to me, he said, "What else do you call someone that hooks up with complete strangers?" I was too shocked to react, and he walked off. I wanted to follow him, but my friend suggested that I give him space to calm down and talk to him the next day, which is today. I followed that advice and woke up today to talk to him. His friend said that he cut the trip short, which still has a few days left, and left. I tried calling him, and I think he has my number blocked. What should I do? Edit. Update. I took your advice and gave him his space. I extended my trip for a few days because we live together, but I would try to call my fiance every now and then. He would pick up my calls. Eventually, he called me back on my third extended day of the trip. He wouldn't let me speak and just told me that the wedding was off and never to contact him again. I tried to get home as soon as I could so that we could talk in person. When I got to our apartment, I found that the locks had been changed. Like, what the heck? I feel like he took things overboard for just a kiss. It was just a kiss, nothing else happened. We were drunk and it was just a bet. I called him at work because he wouldn't answer my calls on his cell phone, and we had a heated argument over the lock change and the bachelorette party. It ended with him saying that he dropped off all my things at my parents' house and already told them that the wedding was off. He warned me never to call his job or him again. My mom says that he probably has cold feet, and that's the reason he's overreacting. His parents, who love me like their own daughter, don't want to get involved and say that everything is our decision. Final update. He eventually agreed to meet up and talk to me about our relationship. He says he doesn't want to start a marriage knowing that I would just ruin it for fun or to please a crowd with a stranger. He says he doesn't want to be with someone who would cheat on him and humiliate him like that, and that he didn't think that I was the person and refused to marry someone that's loose. I can't believe he would say that to me just because of a kiss. When I brought up the cost of the wedding plans, they told me that he said that I shouldn't worry about losing some of his deposits. When I saw how resolute he was about ending things between us, I panicked and said that I was pregnant, which is a lie. His cold response was that he wants a DNA test before he can take any responsibility because he no longer trusts me. That broke me. I slapped him and stormed off. How could he treat me like this and end our relationship of more than 2 decades just because of one kiss? Am I missing something here? What did I do so wrong? Comments. While it's true that your fiancé's reaction might seem like an overreaction to some, it's essential to remember that everyone has different boundaries and emotional thresholds. What might seem like just a kiss to you might have triggered deep-seated insecurities or trust issues for him. It's crucial to respect his feelings and give him the time he needs to process this situation. OP, I understand you're going through a tough time, and it's important to seek support from friends and family during this difficult period. Talk to someone you trust about your feelings and concerns. In the end, it's about finding a balance between understanding your fiancé's perspective and taking care of your emotional well-being. Oh, quit whining and accept it's over. Done. You need to take responsibility for your behavior and understand that your fiancé's reaction is utterly appropriate and is a result of feeling deeply hurt and betrayed. This is not just about just a kiss, it's about maintaining trust and commitment in a relationship. You should give him the space he needs to process this and consider seeking couples therapy if he's open to it. Edit, never mind, he's not. Good on him. Story 2. My fiancé admitted to me last night that she cheated on me once with a guy from her work about 2.5 years ago before we were engaged. She says they didn't have sex but made out and touched each other. I feel sick writing this. We've had an amazing relationship for these 5 years, and we both want to get married and have a family. Nearly everyone we've ever met has said that we are perfect for each other. But now I'm incredibly confused. We basically spent all last night crying together. She feels incredibly remorseful, and I'm torn between wanting to forgive her and move on, and worrying that this could happen again and could be a big red flag. When the infidelity occurred, we were going through a bit of a rough patch because we barely got to see each other with our work schedules, and it put a big strain on the relationship. She left the company they both worked at soon after all this happened, but she admits that they do text each other on occasion, but just as friends. She says she's ready to cut off all communication with him, but I feel like that doesn't even need to be said. Shouldn't she want to cut off all communication with this guy? Not sure it makes a difference, but he has a girlfriend now and lives farther away. She mentioned last night that she wants to see a therapist, and I don't know if I should or can be involved in that process. She said that it wasn't as much of a physical attraction to this guy, but rather an emotional one during our rough patch. She maintains it was a one-time thing, that she never wants to hurt me again. Update. First off, thanks for all the comments. I really appreciate it. To answer a few questions, the reason she finally admitted it to me was that we were having a pretty deep emotional relationship talk, and she started crying out of nowhere. I pressed for an answer, and she finally admitted it. She told me she couldn't tell me because she thought she would lose me. My gut tells me that there's probably more to this story than I know right now. I'm gonna take some time for myself. I know everyone says their relationship is different, but I really believed ours was. Update 2. As far as cutting off communication with this guy, it wasn't so much that she put the ball in my court. She told me she wants to cut off communication with him and tell him they cannot speak anymore, and my reply was, why do you even need to give him the courtesy of that notification? I think she genuinely wants nothing to do with him anymore. Update 3. I'm thinking about reaching out to a therapist, and I'm not sure how to go about it, as I've never had one before. Is it best to schedule a session with both of us first? Just myself? Both of us separately? Also, when should I do this? Do I need to take more time before I contact a professional? Wait, so after almost 3 years of lying to your face every single day, she's now just ready to cut off communication with him? Let that sink in. Some other dude screwed your girlfriend. If you honestly think they didn't screw, you're just kidding yourself. She hid it from you for years. They still communicate. She still talks to him. So not only did you physically cheat, she emotionally cheated as well. She stepped outside of the relationship, broke your trust, hid it from you, and is only coming clean because she thinks you won't dump her ass since you're engaged. Bro, seriously. If you marry this chick, you don't have an ounce of self-respect in your body. Comments. Bet you dollars to donuts they screwed. Probably more than once. Confessing this little bit helps assuage her guilt and gives a route for deniability if the truth ever starts to emerge. OP, you need to seriously consider bailing, or at least indefinitely postponing the wedding until you mentally sort through all this. Honestly, how will you ever be able to trust anything she says again? Will you ever trust her around coworkers? Or if she has any male friends or goes on a business trip? The lack of trust is no way to start a marriage. Edit. Also, this quote, "How do I patch this up?" from you TLDR is curious. Why is this your responsibility to patch up? You aren't the cheater. This isn't your job to patch. It's up to you to decide if you want to continue being with her, but the patching job is 100% on her to find ways to prove to you that she can be a faithful partner. It's not your job whatsoever to find ways for her to do it. The fact she still texts this guy pretty much indicates that she's not going to be up for the challenge, and frankly, that she doesn't feel that bad about cheating. Lying to you for over 2 years, she's counting on you being engaged as a strong foundation to soften the blow of her betrayal. The fact that she hasn't stopped communicating while leaving the choice open to you may be considered a big manipulation move. She's trying to give you some imaginary control to make you feel better, when that should have already been done. Trickle truth of death: do not marry.